Gators.
Yeah, never easy. First NCAA tournament for the Mercer Bears. Probably a little jitter. And Hannah Pitts was a big part of that. 90-degree conditions, bit of a breeze. Full sun and an 0-2 count. Good start for Hannah Pitts against Falby.
And Pitts, that first start against Florida in their first contest, threw 66 pitches in 2 1/3 innings. So threw a ton. They scored 4 earned runs off of her in her regional debut. A little bit of those jitters, but talked to Lindsay Fico before the game today, and they're feeling good. They're happy to be here. She told her team to just play.
Yep.
Have fun. This is what you came here for. This is what you worked hard for.
Yeah, play your game. The second inning in that game, Florida started to get warmed up. Chopper to short to Dorval, and out number 1 for the Bears. But inning 3, it was all Gators in that one. Got the bats and then extended it out. They batted all the way around. Once they get going, very hard to stop this Florida team.
Absolutely, and it started the same exact way on Friday night. Falby chopping it to Dorval. Her making that play. She was pinched in a little bit to play the slot.
First pitch, no hesitation. Taylor Shoemaker, she's brought the hot bat in this one as well. Can't say enough about her numbers over these 2 games.
Yeah, Shoemaker just putting a beautiful swing on this ball, a little bit elevated. Doesn't need to do too much, but perfect timing and punches it over to shallow right field.
Just a perfect swing. They say she's a freshman, but she does not play like one any longer. As you mentioned earlier, she broke the freshman home run record here. She has added to it, coming in with 21 of them on the season.
Well, Krista, you said any longer, but I don't think she's ever played like a freshman
True.
this season.
That
Coach
is
Walton
true.
said she comes from a great organization that groomed her into playing in this situation.
Yeah, set her up perfectly. She's a first-team All-SEC member and worked on her game when she hit a little bit of a slump, if there was such a thing on the season. But she said, she had to just get her confidence back. And there's Jocelyn Erickson now facing Hannah Pitts. Numbers for Erickson. Her batting percentage has been going up through this regional. Had the game-winning single yesterday in their game against Florida Atlantic. And she'll make her way to first. Good patience by Erickson. That'll move Shoemaker to second. Kind of start for Florida that they like to see. We mentioned their first 2 games, it's been a couple of innings, 2-3 innings until they kind of got things going. Looks like they're jumping right out here. It's what Coach Walton wanted them to do. He said, we've got to get on things early. Reagan Walsh, one of 5 seniors for Florida. Fouls that one away. From Redondo Beach, California. She was also a first-team All-SEC member for the 2nd year in a row. Taking over at first base this season.
Reagan Walsh was hot coming into the regionals, hitting just under 600. This is the perfect time that you want to get hot going into postseason. She's moved up in the order.
Yes. Okay.
Giving her a shot to get some more ribbies.
56 on the season, RBIs. Pitts just missing inside. We talked about Mia Williams. She's on deck for the Gators.
She's not someone I would want to take the rubber against right now.
Erickson will take the walk. So back-to-back walks given up by Hannah Pitts. Dugout bringing it as well. This is a Gators team that has loved the long ball in key moments. 11 grand slams this season. Saw one against Florida Atlantic just yesterday.
We've seen it throughout the lineup as well. Riley Holtorf at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
Hit a grand slam. We saw Jocelyn Erickson, her first grand slam of her career yesterday, to walk it off, as you mentioned.
Yeah, that was an exciting moment for her. Of all times to get your first grand slam, why not do it to win it? See what Hannah Pitts can do to handle this tough situation with just one down and bases loaded. Crowd getting into it. They've been phenomenal, backing this team. Just missing that outside corner. Sophomore Mia Williams, second team All-SEC member. Inside pitch, pops it up. Kiki Daniels had a little bit of a chance, but got turned around. We saw her make some big plays yesterday.
We did. A lot of energy from her behind the plates. Mia Williams loves to hit. She has the fewest amount of walks on this Gators team. Slugging .770. A lot of extra base hits for Mia Williams.
Hits this one to Dorval, who bobbled it momentarily. One run comes across. And that is Shoemaker, and everybody advancing. And the Gator fans are loving it. Hard hit shot from Williams.
Mama Mia, she hits this ball up the middle. Dorval looking to go to second, but I don't think she set her feet up in time. Kept moving and couldn't secure the ball. Reagan Walsh just legs this one out. First skated across home plate.
That's right. They're going to give the air to Dorval.
She's got to be able to get her glove out in front a little bit more. It looked like she was trying to be a vacuum and allow that hop to come in, but I think the hop played her instead of her playing the hop.
Pressure scenario with the bases loaded, and brings up Ava Brown. Sophomore, also pitcher for this team. Hits, pitches, can do it all. Pitts just missing, 21 pitches. 22 now in this one with the bases loaded.
We've seen Ava Brown a little bit at first base, not so much this year, but has been really hot this last half of the season, mostly. Really good in relief in the circle.
Yep, we saw it in game one against Mercer. She came in, got that win against these Bears. And the swing and the miss. First strikeout of the game for Hannah Pitts. And 2 outs for the Bears. That was an important one there, I think, for Hannah Pitts.
It was, especially with bases loaded. And after that error by Dorval, this curveball just clips the edge of the plate. Ava Brown swings through it, a nasty pitch, and a huge moment by Pitts in the circle.
Leads the team in strikeouts, 68 of them now. And brings the strike across to Corby Otis. Senior from Littleton, Colorado. Off speed, just missing. Some of the damage that we saw Florida bring yesterday was when there were 2 outs. They had some big rallies in both of their big innings.
think as a hitter, you can't help but think about how many outs there are. But you got to step into the box each and every time, not necessarily taking it into account, just wanting to rake, put barrel on ball, and hit something solid to be able to pass the bat and give your team some more opportunities to score.
Otis fouls that one back. She's due. She was able to get on yesterday.
Only Gator that hasn't recorded a hit throughout this regional.
We talked about rallies, though. 12 of their 14 runs the last 2 games have come with 2 outs. And she takes this one the opposite direction. Good contact, but Vigna is there for out number 3. So Florida. But a first-team All-SoCon member, this Mercer team, first time to the NCAA tournament. One of 5 teams this year to make the debut, and 5th in the regular season, but won that tournament. Oh, and hit by the pitch. We saw an incredible number of those yesterday, the entire day in all 3 games.
Rothrock just lets this one go. Erickson set up on the outer half, but Keegan just no control over that pitch. It's Langford in the helmet. And we've seen a few of those helmet hits throughout the course of the weekend. We've seen a ton of hit by pitches in general. 16th of the weekend, 12 in total yesterday.
And the good thing, Alicia, is that of all those, every player has been okay. They've been able to continue on. Thank goodness for protective gear.
Yes. Wiggs, another one who was domed yesterday in the helmet.
Oh. Tries to lay the bunt down and able to get there. Erickson up and gets the out. Tough play to make, but gets it done.
Really tough play to make, especially when you're trying to size up the umpire to try to get to where you need to go. Trying to play textbook softball, but Wiggs just couldn't get it down. Jocelyn Erickson had to kind of stiff arm the umpire to get to where she needed to go in order to make that grab.
Well, that is some focus by Erickson.
That's what you call by any means.
You're right. That's our home plate umpire right there. Chad Steers, Aaron Golden at first, John Schaefer at second, and Bill Gattuso at third, our umpires today. He was backpedaling.
He was. I know he's doing his agilities at home.
That's right.
Some plyometrics, quick feet.
Tori Hedgecock, one of 7 seniors for the Bears. Gets jammed a bit, gets under it, and Williams at second. Makes it out number 2. So Keegan Rothrock starting to settle in from the circle. Gotta bring up Grace Jones. Freshman's numbers have been very good as she takes the first one swinging. Strike 1.
Had a slow start to her weekend. Went 0 for 2 in their first contests on Friday, but has since gone 4 for 8. Posing a .500 batting average in this regional despite the slow start against Florida. I love how focused she's been in the box, but also at first base. She's really quick with her load and just turns and burns when she decides to swing at a pitch.
Well, you said it too, though. Her defense has really stood out as well. She's had some impressive snags at first and made the plays. A 1-2 count she's facing now. With 1 on, 1 and 2 out.
Florida with the football-inspired uniforms. Excuse me, Texas A&M, but then also winning the series against Oklahoma, taking 2 of the 3 in both SEC series, 2 of the toughest teams in not only the conference, but the nation.
Yes, there's no doubt that the competition, especially in conference play, has tested this team and showed them they are capable of beating anyone, with a record 14 teams in the regionals this year by the SEC. 7 of the top 8 seeds from that conference. And Tim Walton's team finishing 6th. Tough loss to Ole Miss in the conference tournament.
It's made the SEC that much harder with the additions of Oklahoma and Texas. Texas A&M getting upset over the weekend.
Yeah, we had a couple upsets yesterday. Some big ones. Liberty knocking off the top seed, Texas A&M. Georgia defeating Duke. There you see those major upsets. Southeast Louisiana eliminating 10 seed LSU. LSU the only one. Those 2 wins for Southeast Louisiana against the host team. And some of the others are going to have to make their way through eliminations, as caught looking on that one was Cahalan. So Hannah Pitt's starting to feel it a bit more.
And she settled in, gave up a few free passes in the first, but this screwball just keeps on screwing, and Cahalan's not happy about that one, but a really good pitch execution by Pitts in the circle. She's gonna move that ball east and west. We saw it throughout the weekend with that curveball, screwball, rise ball combo. We'll throw in that change. We've already seen it today.
One down, Riley Holtorf, grad transfer from Washington. Good speed from her. Solid numbers as a starter. Catches the inside of the plate this time for strike 2.
I love the fearlessness that she possesses, just going right at these batters.
How important was what she did yesterday in coming into a game like this one, Alicia?
Gives her confidence. I mean, she's been looked to on this staff in high pressure situations. Only had 3 appearances in the 8 games in the SoCon tournament, but has been their trusty steed with 2 starts, 3 if including today.
Yeah.
Throughout this regional. Grace Taylor was their trusty steed in the SoCon tournament. Taylor making an appearance in every single game throughout, but it's been Pitts they've looked to set the tone.
Grace Taylor was the SoCon tournament most outstanding player, and we've seen her a couple of times, but now leaning on Hannah Pitts. Big plus for Mercer to have some depth. Torf again with the full count. Sees that one foul. Grad transfer has really been good in the 9-hole. Coming in, hitting .320, 26 RBIs, and she has great speed as well. 8 stolen bases. And again, the inside pitch. Top of the order on deck for Florida, that's Kendra Falby. Really difficult player to match up against. A top 10 finalist for the Player of the Year. And the 9th pitch by Pitts was a ball, and now the walk for Holtorf. That brings the top of the lineup. That's a great sign for the Gators.
And all high fives in the dugout.
Yep.
But a really nice job by Holtorf being patient in that at bat. 9 total pitches. Now she's able to flip the lineup over for the top 10 candidate for USA Player of the Year, Kendra Falby.
What a season Falby's had. Takes the first one right back at Pitts. Gets the force at second. Heady play by Hannah Pitts in the circle. That was a hard shot.
No, and Falby is too quick to get two on that one. Hits it right back to Pitts. A really good heads-up play. Throwing it to second base. They were playing Falby in, so had second base covering on that double play, but her speed just doesn't allow that double play.
Yeah.
Force out at first.
Hey, don't miss a minute of the action from the NCAA Softball Regionals. We'll take you to the best live action on the 7 Innings live show on the ESPN app. You can see every game and every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series, only on the ESPN networks. Teams trying to make their way to Oklahoma City, and boy, we couldn't help but keep up with it last night. There were some really remarkable games throughout these regionals yesterday. Some upsets, thrilling moments, and these games obviously important winners moving on to super regional play with the hopes of then making it to Oklahoma City.
That's what postseason is about.
Yeah.
It's not about what you did throughout the year. Obviously that matters, but who's gonna put it all together right now? Who's gonna be firing on all cylinders? Who's gonna make the first mistake? Who's gonna be gritty? We've seen some upsets. Liberty against the #1 seed. I think that was a shocker. But to me, the biggest one was LSU going down in 2 to Southeastern Louisiana yesterday. Stood up late for that one.
I did too. Doing it, as you said, at the right time. And both of these teams, interesting scenarios. And for Florida, they did not, the Oklahoma series that they won, they had to go to LSU and they took one off of them there. Wins earlier against Texas A&M. It's what they were doing later in the season and how they were playing then, and now how they've looked here, staying in this winner's bracket to stay fresh, and they've had their bats going.
Yeah, they weren't happy about that loss to Ole Miss. Yeah, they were not happy. They talked about how much harder practices were because of losing to Ole Miss in the tournament. It's grueling, but got their electrolytes on them, got their water, but Ole Miss kept that momentum going.
That's right.
Upset Arizona, the host team, yesterday. So Arizona's got to win twice. Ole Miss with the momentum in Florida, despite losing some momentum as well. The devastating offense throughout this regional.
Yep. The walk for Shoemaker brings up Jocelyn Erickson, so 2 on with 2 down. And Coach Walton talked about the team that makes it most normal will win this. Trying not to hype it up too high, not too low, make it normal, and you'll win it.
It's so easy to allow yourself to think about where you're at in your season, regional, super regionals, World Series.
Yeah.
Women's College World Series, excuse me. Gotta control that heartbeat.
Daniels not able to hang on to the pitch, and the runners move around. Shoemaker to second, Falby to third.
This is a rise ball that just got past Daniel's glove. She was late to get up on her feet on that one.
So a wild pitch for Pitts with 2 down.
Looked like a pretty good pitch. Daniels just missed it. That's kind of a compliment as a pitcher.
Right off, and pulling that one down the line, Erickson brings 2 across and makes her way to second. The stand-up double for Jocelyn Erickson. The RBIs gets the crowd on the feet.
Erickson, last year's SEC Player of the Year, takes this pitch on the outer half, wraps her barrel around it, doesn't even get all of it, but hits it hard enough past the first baseman Jones, gets 2 more on the board. Jocelyn Erickson, been hit a ton this year, been walked a ton. Good to see her barreling it up, getting the Gators started early in this game.
Last year's National Player of the Year and All-American. And starting to come on late in this season at just the right time. Her 14th double And with 2 out, once again, rallying on 2. It brings up Mia Williams. Or excuse me, this is Reagan Walsh.
Jocelyn Erickson, a player that did get SEC Player of the Year last year.
Uh-oh, she finds a gap. Walsh moves Erickson over to third. The base hit for Reagan Walsh. Runners at first and third now.
Just talk about how there's no breaks in this lineup. We talked about the SEC Player of the Year hitting in front of her, but Walsh, who has tremendous power and just strokes the ball to shallow left field, moving the runner up 60 feet, first and third. Reagan Walsh, I think an unsung hero on this team, has produced a ton for the Gators. No hits yesterday, but coming out hot in her first at bat.
First pitch taken by Williams, gets underneath it, and what a play by Short. Wow, Dorval.
Used to seeing after the hiatus that she had due to injury. Took about a month off to recover, rest. But since has just really needed to hone in on her spots and continue to spin the ball really well to be successful in her debuts.
So good for her to get some reps within this regional, to be able to have her, if they can advance, and get her back pitching the way they've seen her pitch in the past. So difficult with such a big schedule, tough competition when you have an injury to fight through and you just have to rest. Not an easy thing, right?
Well, it looks like the rest paid off with that nasty off-speed that just falls off the table. Rothrock, we've seen her rise ball, but this changeup makes everything look that much better. Just falls off the table. Daniels cannot catch up.
Second strikeout of the game for Rothrock. Good start for her. Now facing Sydney Harris. Harris watching that one go by. The senior, the transfer her first year with the Bears. Played at the junior college level, was an All-American last season with Northern Alabama. Volunteer state prior to that.
Rothrock shaking off a few pitches, making sure she's comfortable with what's being called by Erickson and the pitching staff and Brinkle.
Gonna catch up with Coach Lindsay Fico when we come back after this at bat. She's really been happy with her team and just their fight and buying in, their winning ways, not giving up. What a battle they had in the Southern tournament to end up winning the SoCon to get here.
Yeah, they've rallied extremely well. And I say it time and time again, you can put the best 9 on the field statistically, but if they're not cohesive as a unit and working together to achieve a common goal, you're not going to win a ball game. But this group has been extremely close and done a really good job at holding each other accountable and feeding off of each other, and that's why they won the SoCon tournament. This pitch, not too happy about it. Really good screwball by Rothrock.
Just misses again outside. Full count to Sydney Harris. And gets her swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Keegan Rothrock. Her third of the game.
And she can do it in multiple ways. We already saw that changeup to Daniels. This Scri's ball to Harris. When you've got your up and down pitches to be able to spread that movement, it makes everything just so much more deceptive and tougher to distinguish as a batter to make your decision. Is she throwing a rise ball? Is she throwing that changeup? What is she going to throw? Everything's working today, and everything looks extremely deceptive.
Brings it across to Hannah Rivers. An 0-2 count, excellent start. So 2 strikeouts here. If you go back to last inning, finished with a strikeout. 3 strikeouts in a row. She's starting to get her groove going in the circle. Just missed there. Hannah Rivers stays alive, fouls that one away.
Rivers, 1 of 12 on this Mercer Bears roster from Florida. Got a lot of roots here, a lot of Florida girls, a lot of family members.
Just play the game is what Coach Fico and the Bears are hoping to do. Ava Brown going to try to lead things off for the Gators. Struck out in the first at bat. Off speed from Pitts. Gives her strike 1. And again, that one on the outside for strike 2.
Yeah, she hit the same spot. Now she's got some count leverage, some room to play with. Able to bend that ball a little bit more, maybe get a miss hit. But Florida has a lot of discipline. We've seen Pitts go the distance in these at-bats. Got a few walks under her belt. 3 to be exact.
Brown stays alive, gets a piece of that one. Ava Brown worked on her slapping game, worked on her breathing.
Went through a rough patch. I think it reflected in her stats, but not necessarily being in the lineup every day can sometimes take a toll on you. Not saying that it did to Ava Brown. She said it didn't mess with her mentally, but had a conversation with Coach Eric Thomas about it.
Off speed, good contact, but perfectly played by Langford at center for out number 1.
And Ava Brown's been really hot lately after that conversation she had with Coach Eric Thomas. He said, please don't give up on yourself because I will never give up on you. And after that, Ava Brown turned a corner for herself and has been really, really hot both in the circle and in the box.
Otis takes the first pitch, finds an opening out at right, and a stand-up double for Corby Otis. Little pickup for Ava Brown prior, helping her teammate out, but you're right. Brown's been so good. So is Otis now.
And not just picking up her teammate, but getting her first hit of this regional. Corby Otis needed this hit, and she is ecstatic about it.
Yes, needed that one.
She was the only Gator in this lineup who didn't get a hit.
Her 8th double, Cahalan up the middle. She'll bring Otis around. It's 4-0 Gators. And the RBI to Kinley Cahalan.
Oh, that sign.
That sign pretty correct, wasn't it? They have stayed hot
Gator
most
girls
of the time.
And back-to-back hits. Cahalan just drives this ball up the middle, a frozen rope straight to center. I mean, she just switched places with Corby Otis. That's what you like to see if you're a Gator.
Yep, struck out in her first at-bat. That was a nice comeback at-bat for Cahalan. And here is Holtorf. Takes the first one. Hedgecock gets the force at second, and they cannot turn it. But very close.
This ball by Holtorf. Seen a few double plays this weekend. Hedgecock, a really nice job at third base. Tries to make something shake, but we talked about Riley Holtorf's speed earlier. Has a few stolen bases on the year. But can't get that second out. Gets the lead one. Now you got Falby in the same position you had her in before.
First pitch taken, Falby, and the out at first.
This is a team that's going to need Rothrock in the circle. You've seen them throw. Kara Hammock got kicked off the mound by Mercer their last contest. But you've seen it here, folks. That swing and miss by Rothrock is something that the Gators staff has been missing. And in lieu of her not being at 100%, other pitchers have gotten the opportunity to get some more experience. You got the freshman Kaylin Oxley, who was the Friday and Sunday starter in SEC play for a little bit.
Dorval gets under this one and calling off Williams. It was Holtorf for out one. It's always good to see, Alicia, a player who's gone through an injury, battled through it, fought through it, but able to see them kind of get back and get their game going again. It's never fun when an injury hits, especially in a season.
No, and I think it's a beautiful thing to see when a player comes back. They find that confidence again, because a lot of the time it's mental.
Yeah.
Right? She didn't miss a beat in the weight room. I talked to their head strength coach, Coach Paul, and she looked as strong as ever throughout that time. She just needed some rest, and that's what she got. And you're seeing a lot more swings and misses by Rothrock, as Coach Walton said, and we spoke about earlier on the call. But they're pretty deep with their staff. They've got some good things going, some dynamic pitchers who show some different things. But Rothrock was the key last year to their long run. Started virtually every single game in the postseason.
Yeah, this team making it to the Women's College World Series. And knocked off by Oklahoma. The bunt laid down by Vigna. And the play made. Rothrock doing it all.
I like this, though. Vigna just trying to use her tools, laying that bunt down, but just a little bit too far and close to Rothrock in the circle. Can defend her position.
Comes back with the strike there, has not given up a hit to the Bears. 4 strikeouts. Solid game she has going. And for the Bears, got to get the bats heated up. Top of the lineup, this is Langford. Hallie Langford, redshirt senior, married to a former Gator. That's her husband Wyatt, now in the major leagues with the Rangers. And like the combo, the couple there.
Power couple.
Power couple.
Love to see it. Probably texting her throughout the games, trying to help her with her swing, telling her what she sees. Husband homered last night in their game. Asked her why she didn't homer, probably.
Different styles. Capable, though. 4 home runs on the season for Langford. Formerly Hadley Bryant. There's Rothrock just missing there. Ball 2.
You've seen those calls go either way today. Rothrock trying to paint the corner and then extend that strike zone on the outer half to lefties with that screwball. Heard someone in the stands say strike 3 on that. It bounced the ball. Can tell whose side they're on.
Exactly. So readjusting the elbow pad. Stays alive with that foul ball.
We talked about Langford being that catalyst in the top of the lineup. Has a hit in every single game this regional. A lot of speed, a lot of different tools at the top.
Choppy shot deep to Holtorf, and that speed paying off. Keeps the Bears alive with 2 down. A good placement on that one.
Ford's been going oppo all weekend long. This one hit in the 5-6 hole. Holtorf has to go to her right. Gives Langford a lot more time to bust it down first base. I think her only shot was Cahalan trying to glove it and make that throw over to first base.
First hit given up by Rockbrock.
You can talk about it now.
Exactly. Yeah, don't mention it prior. And Paris Wiggs gets hit by the pitch. It'll move Langford to second.
She's now gotten hit in 3 out of the 4 games that she has played. She is just a magnet for that ball.
Certainly is.
I think the same spot too. She's got hit on that left leg around her knee. She's got hit in the head as well. Been all over. I know she's gotten in the ice bath once or twice throughout the weekend.
She certainly needs to, as Stephanie Van Brakel Prothro, the pitching coach, comes out to the circle. Hey, the Women's College World Series, it returns to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday, May 29th, 12 o'clock Eastern, live on ESPN. And for more information, you can go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Oklahoma City kicking off May 29th. And some big-time softball still ahead. Winners here move on to super regionals, and then that goal of getting to the Women's College World Series. The competition's really been so fun all season long. A lot of parity out there, and we've seen a few upsets then yesterday in regional play.
Those upsets are always shocking the world, Krista.
They are.
They've been fun to watch.
Yep.
I mean, 1 foot away from the screen, trying to see what's going to happen next.
Not easy to host and keep your pressure and stresses down. Especially the way the teams have been playing this year across the nation. 2 on and 2 down for Tori Hedgecock and the Bears. Wiggs on first, Langford on second. Wiggs the hit by pitch, that's the 3rd hit by pitch this game. 17th of the weekend.
In this beautiful stadium, this beautiful field, because it's what they deserve.
Well, you're a big reason that the fans continue to come out and that this facility, the KDC Scholl Presley Stadium, is here now. I'm glad to have you here. It's been a fun regional with a lot of good softball.
It has been. Great weather. Maybe a little bit hotter than what we've liked, but that is Florida for you.
Yeah. Nope, it's been ideal. A little breeze. Sun is out.
Fun in the sun. Playing the game we love.
Always. Just a few light clouds in the sky, but I think the fans have been treated to some perfect conditions.
I'd say most of the athletes on this field are accustomed to the weather, with Mercer having so many Floridians on the roster, and then obviously with Florida's roster being in Gainesville all year long.
Shoemaker into foul territory, and Laura Vigna out in right makes the play.
And that is a huge out by Vigna in right field. Taylor Shoemaker with the green light, swing 3-0. Just gets under that pitch, but Vigna on the fence making that grab. Could have saved some trouble for Pitts in the circle. Shoemaker's been pretty dominant in the box, not just this weekend, but through the course of the season. Her home runs.
She has. If you are Hannah Pitts, you're glad to see the defense getting your back on that one. Jocelyn Erickson up. This pitch just misses. Mercer's been having some of their pitchers get some warm-ups in the bullpen. They had Grace Taylor out there, and now going to let Pitts continue, but both teams been doing that. Jocelyn Erickson, a double in her last at bat, but yesterday,
a grand slam, her first of her career, and she knew it off the bat, walking it off. How about the power by Erickson? I mean, that's got to be a huge confidence boost.
As Rivers handled the ball coming to her, but then couldn't get it out of the glove in time. So a break for Jocelyn Erickson. There was a lot behind this, though. You were just talking about Erickson's power.
She rips this one. It was on the outer half, too, which is not what you see often, but she drives that pitch to Rivers at second base, and it almost looks like she tries to look at Erickson in first base before she secured the ball. Got to be able to get those outs. Try to keep runners off the base pass.
Gives Rivers the air, and then it brings up Walsh for the base hit up the middle. Reagan Walsh bringing it today.
And Reagan Walsh, she never does too much with her swing. Gets that foot down, drives her hands to the ball, and really rotates those hips, gets her knee down to get that grab and gets that barrel down. She drives it right back up the middle.
One away, two on. And Mia Williams lets the first one go for strike one. Williams had been perfect in getting on base the last 2 days. She's had a tougher time today. Her teammates, though, picking her up. Gets under this. And making the call, that's Harrison left for out number 2. So many of the runs for Florida over this weekend, 26 of them have come in these scenarios. 16 of them have been scored with 2 outs. See if they can keep it going here. Here's Brown. Brown lets the first 2 go by for strikes. Pitch just missing on that outside. Her 81st pitch.
Florida, their first meeting against Mercer, left 7 on base. 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and today so far 3 for 8 with runners on second and third. 8 for 19 in total.
And with Erickson on second, Walsh on first. Brown hoping not to leave him. Oh, the shot inside and out of here. 3-run home run on a 2-2 count for Ava Brown. Ava Brown with her 10th home run of the season. And perfect timing as we talk about this Florida team that rallies with 2 down.
Ava, as clutch as they come, make that number 9 for 18. Sending this pitch on the inside corner, and she just gets extended. Sends this home run on a line over the pitching lab. straight ribbies for Ava Brown. She is hot. We talked about her doing it in the circle. Talked about her doing it in the box.
This Florida team has had to find a variety of different ways to get it done. Sometimes the long ball, sometimes it's been from the circle, but a pitching change for the Bears and a 7-0 lead for Florida. We'll take the break.
Your attention.
Doubles, triples, home runs, a ton of them. That's why it's so key to keep them off the base paths to limit how many RBIs these Gators get via long ball.
So Mercer brings in Grace Taylor to the circle. Give a little bit of a different look maybe to Florida.
And they saw her in relief in game 1. She only had 1 inning in that game, 4 hits. But she does throw a change, screw, drop, and curve in the mid-60s. Lost a little bit of velo. Had an injury throughout the year in her neck. Kind of funky, but has been dealing with that. Since been good.
Hannah Pitts and her numbers got the start today.
3 2/3. Has been pretty sturdy in her starts.
Yep.
But just couldn't hold them down.
Yeah.
Gators couldn't be denied.
Yeah. Florida definitely had a focus from the start in this one with the bats. Get out quickly, and the first batter for Taylor. It's a walk to Corby Otis. And the dugout continues to keep it loose.
In their first meeting, Florida had 11 hits over Mercer.
Yeah, the Gators got the 8-0 win in 5 in the first game of this regional. And then yesterday, the win over Florida Atlantic to keep them in the winner's bracket. Kinley Cahalan singled in her last at bat. Junior and the transfer from Alabama, her first year with the Gators.
One of 2 transfers from Alabama the past few years. 2 shortstops, Kinley Cahalan, and then you had Skylar Wallace, graduated last year. Big part of their offensive production in her time in Gainesville. Lost her home run production, but then you look at Taylor Shoemaker, then you question, did you really lose it at all?
Yep. And that's the thing about this Gators team as Cahalan takes the walk, is that so many of the players in Coach Walton's lineup has the ability to hit the long ball from top to bottom. And in talking with him, you know, it hasn't been maybe as many as they'd maybe have in years past, but they've had plenty, and they've had some good timing on the ones they've had for sure. But he's had to be a chameleon, he said, with this group and trying to figure out the pitching as well as the batting orders and the system that he's using with as far as batting, the stats formula. It seems to be ideal, and looking at analytics and really getting the best out of every spot that he can.
Absolutely, and in playing for him, I've seen it firsthand. I talked to him about recent years, how we've seen All-Americans in the circle, but it's been lately that we've seen a lot of power, and you see these numbers here, the home run leaders. Shoemaker at the top, breaking that freshman single season record, and then extending it, and then multiple Gators throughout the lineup who can do some damage, sending the ball over the fence. It's scary.
It sure is.
For whatever team takes the field. Like, Vika was coached by him her senior season, stepped away from softball for a while. Actually gave some lessons next to her during my time in Gainesville. Then got the coaching job at Santa Fe down the street here in Gainesville, and has since been at Mercer. changing the program out in Georgia.
Certainly has. Just her 4th season, and no postseason last year, but piecing together the kind of team that she's wanted, and she's done it very creatively with the transfer portal as well as going into junior college ranks as well, finding just some key pieces, hard workers, and this team has just completely accepted her system.
And that's what it's about. And we got coaches who can foster that culture, that environment, trickles down into the players, and they have that belief system, as you said, and it leaks onto the field. I mean, you don't win ball games on the field. I think you win them in the off season.
Yeah.
You win them in practices.
And Coach Vico saying, you know, she's watching this team now just play this game and doesn't have to worry. They're really starting to get it and what she's wanted them to do. And it's been a lot of fun. She wants to have fun with it. If not, you can't do this. You can't do this if you're not enjoying it.
No, and she has a lot of passion. We've seen her get excited for the players. We've seen her coach them up at third. We've seen the whole spectrum here.
Grace Jones gets under it and making the play. That's Cahalan at the net. Out one, and Rothrock keeps bringing it from the circle.
And this is the Florida Gators home turf, so they know it like the back of her hand. You could see how she stretches her right arm knowing that the net is there. If she gets anywhere close, she's pushing that net so she can make sure that the ball falls into her web.
A great point, Alicia. When you know a field, that's a big plus, and she obviously knows the steps from her position over.
She could probably count them.
Right.
And in my experience in playing here, you've got people in the dugout who are prepared to catch you even if you fall.
Daniels got jammed just a little bit and right to Mia Williams. Let's take a look at the Knoxville Regional, the first team to make their way to the Super Regionals. It is Tennessee, the 5-0 win over Ohio State. Congratulations to them. They are moving on. Finishing up these regional rounds. 16 super regional spots.
Tennessee matched up with the teams in the Baton Rouge Regional. We talked about the upset over LSU, Southeastern Louisiana, making LSU pack their bags and drive back to their dorms and their apartments for the year.
Boy, tough to take when you're on your home field. You know they must be so disappointed, but Southeast Louisiana got to be so happy. And Gators have a focus here for Coach Walton, trying not to let that happen to them.
These teams will have to await the Duke and Georgia game at 2:30. They should be getting on their way the next few minutes to start that game.
We're keeping our eyes on those games as well as calling it off. That's Otis coming in. Well played by the D. 3 up, 3 down for the Gators. Up 7-0. They're having a good time. Their team in control. See if Grace Taylor can slow down the bats. Top of the lineup though, Kendra Falby up first. Falby scored back in the second inning. Takes the second pitch, keeps it fair. Opposite field and making the turn to second, the stand-up double. And that is an impressive leadoff by Falby.
Falby, we've seen her hit via the slap all weekend, but she stands in for this one. Power going to the left side of the field. A nice double. She legs this one out, and Harris bobbles it, but Falby was taken to regardless. It's what she does.
The placement of that, it was A good job by Harris to even get to it as quickly as she did, I think.
Yeah, really good stop by her.
Sure was.
Falby, certainly enough speed to go around
No
the
doubt
base
about
pass
it.
and get it in the park. But we've seen her slap all weekend. I've been paying attention to what she does in the box because she's one of those players that has all the tools in her toolbox as a lefty. Can slap, can bunt, can hit, and she finally took out the stand-in swing for her last at-bat to secure some pop to the left side.
Certainly showing why she's one of the top 10 finalists for the USA Softball College Player of the Year. There you see, impressive. She's reached base 58 of 60 games and leads the team in hitting with 86. With nobody out, it's Taylor Shoemaker up. And a walk to Shoemaker. Keeping it loose, the Gators in their dugout.
Yeah, they're having fun.
They are. That's what the players and everyone we've spoken with, they talked about keeping it loose and having fun, just playing the game, trying not to put so much pressure on it and what this means.
That was the theme in the interviews, but in Florida specifically, Shoemaker and the rest of the young woman we spoke with just talked about keeping it loose, keeping it light. The moment that they feel like it's a job is when all that competitiveness goes out the window.
Yeah, they look to the players that keep the team loose and try not to do it. Hard shot by Erickson out to center and perfectly played by Langford, but full contact by Jocelyn Erickson.
Langford's made some really nice plays out in center field throughout the course of the weekend. Happy to see her wearing shades today.
Yeah, she's been impressive. One down, two on, brings up Reagan Walsh. Walsh has brought it today, a couple of singles and a walk.
Nice off-speed pitch by Taylor. See her throw that changeup early and often in at-bats.
And losing it is Daniels behind the plate, and that'll move the runners around. They'll give the wild pitch to Grace Taylor. And Kiki Daniels was doing everything she could to track it down. Now Falby on third, Shoemaker on second. And contact up by Walsh, sends it out to Vigna in right. Falby's going to tag up, and that is run number 8 for the Gators here in the top of the 5th inning.
Productive out by Walsh. She got a hit in her last at-bat. Gators are now in run rule territory. Once the Bears get back into the dugout on offense, they are the home team today.
Yes.
So they have to score at least one to keep this game alive. As of right now, if the score stands 8-0.
2 down with Mia Williams up. It's underneath this. Joan, happy to have her back in the rotation with their pitching staff. See what the Bears can bring. The Mercer Bears have pushed this one. Coming out of the Southern Conference. First time in NCAA history they've made it here, and They put in a lot of work in the offseason and mental, physical conditioning, Alicia, and worked with some Marines with some training. I mean, it was incredible.
They did, and they had a smile on their face when they were telling the story of just how grueling it was to have the Marines come out and have them do like a multitude of different activities to train and just work on their mental toughness. They did it in the rain, so they were soaking wet with backpacks that were heavy and just different activities that they are going to remember for a lifetime. FICO invested in them, and not just with the Marines, but with the sports psych that they've had throughout the years.
Pinch hitter Maddie Wicker came in, the senior, and the strikeout, though, tough to take.
And the 6th strikeout for Rothrock. That Scri's ball just leaking away. Hard to put a bat on, and Rothrock is making it look as easy as ever.
Coach Walton bringing his team together in the circle, and just 2 outs away. Yeah, it looks like they'll make a change, and for the Mercer Bears, what a role they have been on, and we talked about just their work that they put in prior. And the pitching change in the circle is going to be Olivia Miller. And that'll bring McKenna Bellarian behind the plate to catch for her. But what a job by Keegan Rothrock.
Rothrock getting a standing ovation. Gator fans loving it, loving what they saw today. Really nice job by Rothrock. Had the start in FAU. 4 2/3 innings, but gave up 8 hits. They're seeing her well. Today came out a lot hotter, a lot more swings and misses. Really good way to come back.
Certainly has been. She's going to be really happy about this and going to get a smile on her face, no doubt. The winner of this one will face the winner of the Durham Regional, and that one is just underway. The 14 seed Duke and the Georgia Bulldogs. Figure out who will face the winner here in the Super Regionals. Gators just 2 outs away from getting there. It's a freshman catcher behind the plate for Olivia Miller. Big moment for the sophomore lefty. First pitch to Dorval. She fouls that one away.
Miller will give you a different look on the left side. Mid-60s. Throws a lot of curveballs. That back door is nasty, but what I really love about her is she's throwing that changeup often and with command.
Inside pitch to Cahalan, it goes, and that is out number 2. Florida.
And the Bears, one more out to fight. They have fought all season, had 19 doubleheaders this year. A few of them in that SoCon tournament. Scratched and clawed their way to the SoCon championship, beat Chattanooga 2 times.
Twice, yeah.
To get here.
7 seniors on this Mercer team who have done some incredible things and made their way here for Coach FICO. A lot of emotions, I'm sure, for her and this entire team. Vigna. The Gator fans on their feet. Gators made their way to the Women's College World Series a season ago. They are trying to get there again. One round at a time is where the focus has been, though, for this group. And at times, maybe not as many strikeouts as they've seen over the years, but then the bats would get going or the defense would be hot. It's been a full team effort this year for Florida. Vigna stays alive. Senior from Italy. Off speed, fouls that one out of play.
And they just keep on fighting. They don't stop.
Yep.
Throughout this at bat.
I mean, they were down by 5 late in their first game against Chattanooga in the SoCon tournament and ended up getting that one and pushing it to the final in which they won. There's no give up.
There is none. They don't know that word.
They really don't.
It's not in their vocabulary.
Probably starts from the top with Lindsay Fico.
A phenomenal eye by Vigna and a great at bat.
Well, she's being patient. And 9th pitch, this at bat coming up to her. And gets the end of the bat on that one.
Vigna's making Olivia Miller work in this first inning for her.
Yeah, we haven't seen her the last couple of days. Little blooper out, and Holtorf makes it out number 3. And the Florida Gators take care of the home field. They are moving on to the Super Regionals.
An explosive offense by the Florida Gators all weekend. Their 16th Super Regional. They will host